Jordan looked back at me and he said, "I know you don't have that shot in you." As Jordan stepped up, I stepped back, and from 26 feet became only the sixth player to ever score on Michael Jordan in this event.
Don Yaeger is a nationally acclaimed writer and four-time New York Times best-selling author who has spent more than 20 years working with some of the greatest champions of our generation. Michael Jordan, Walter Payton, Annika Sorenstam, and Tony Dungy, asking each of these champions to answer the question, what makes the great ones great? As Don steps to the stage, some of the biggest names in sports will introduce him.
Now please welcome my friend.
My friend.
My friend.
Now please welcome my friend Don Yaeger.
The topic today that we're going to talk about is what makes the great ones great. What are the characteristics that make the most successful people in the world of sports? And those characteristics are not just about sports. What are the characteristics that make them successful? Things that make them tick, things that make them win. And how can we possibly apply those characteristics to our lives?
Business leaders, educators, and major associations such as Anheuser-Busch, Dell, John Deere, Chevron, and the American Land Title Association have utilized Don's captivating life lessons to enhance their employees' leadership, team building, performance, and customer service.
Don's message was thought-provoking and touching. Most of the attendees are still talking about how the principles he conveyed have life-changing application.
And Wharton started crying again. He said, "Now I have to tell you," he said, as a kid growing up, he said, "You know, my mom was 16 when she had me. We grew up together. But she was so full of lessons, and she had so much to teach me." We've talked a lot about it while working on the book. He said, "But the lessons she imparted on us as her children on a daily basis is that it didn't matter if you were white or black. It didn't matter if you were rich or poor. It didn't matter where you lived today or where you were going to live later. There is one thing that we are all assured. There's one thing we will all have in common," Betty Smothers used to tell her kids, and that was that at some stage adversity is going to rock your soul. Something is going to happen to you that will change the direction of your life. It will change where you're headed. It'll change the way you wake up the next day. As we went on, I realized that, you know, one of the most important characteristics of true winners, the really great ones, understand that adversity is a moment that can be used as fuel. Adversity is something that can propel you to a place you didn't think you could go before. Adversity takes us places we never expected. And Betty Smothers was right. When that moment hits you, you have those choices. You see, Warwick Dunn will be the first to tell you, if that night doesn't happen, his mother today would be living in the grandest house in all of Baton Rouge. He would have bought her the most beautiful place you could ever put someone. But because that night happened, 233 kids woke up this morning in a home that their mothers get to call their own. Betty Smothers offered her son that piece of advice. Adversity is going to hit us, and I don't know what yours is. I mean, could it be the economy? Could it be worse than that? And 6 years ago, they told me I had cancer. 6 years later, I get to stand here and tell you I'm a cancer survivor. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter who you are. Betty Smothers is right. Something will hit you, and when it does, you got those choices. Bitter or better? Which are you going to be? She encouraged Warwick to do better. I would absolutely argue with you.